All right, let's get started, guys. So once again, thank you for joining this demo and welcome to Think Python AI. So most of you, I think, know Sachin, who is a friend of mine who's helping me and working with me on this. And those who join a little later, my name is Ankit, and I will be the instructor, trainer, whatever you want to call me, for the Python and AI sessions. We plan to add more as we grow, and we might have more instructors as well from DevOps and other places. But so far, this is what it is. And just a brief introduction about myself. So I have about 20 years of experience, actually 20 plus, and I am right now based out of US in the East Coast area near Boston. And for my professional experience, I'll be very brief. I can say I've done almost everything. I started as a developer when I was a fresher back in India, and then I coded in C, C++ for a long, long time. Sort of got bored in it and started learning Python on my own. Got into some Python projects earlier, and I've been working in C++ and Python for almost more than a decade now. So it's been really long time. I'm also an AI enthusiast. I work a lot of my own projects. I work in the capacity of a senior architect at my current company. So I have the ability to sort of, recommend something in AI and stuff like that, which I always do. So that gives me kind of an edge. But like I was saying, I've done everything. So there was a time when I was into QA. There was a time when I was into designing. Most people don't even understand the difference between designing and development. So it is completely different, and it has its own value and its own advantages because it gives you the complete end-to-end picture, not just one aspect of a product, or you can say product life cycle. So that also kind of nourished my experience, and I have been doing this. So I took a break for a while, but I've been doing this for a long time. When I was in India, I was attached with a company in India. Some of you might even know, or some of you who would hear this recording later would remember that. And now I am on my own, and along with Sachin, who also happens to be a student of mine from the past, and he's agreed, and he's still a student. He's in my one of my AI course that we are doing right now with other people. So he kind of agreed to take it as a project, and he's been doing wonderful. As you guys might have seen, you guys got a. I'm hoping all of you got a Think Python guide when you registered for this on the Google form. So all that automation was designed by Sachin himself using Agentic AI. So I can definitely say he's doing well in the course. But having said that, that is a separate thing altogether. All right. I said I would be brief, but I'm sorry, it was a little longer about myself. So, like I said, I have 20 plus years experience. It takes a while to get used to it. Now, I know all of you are here. You understand Python is important. What is Python? Why learn it? All of you understand that very well. But I'll tell you the question that you should be asking me, that why should I join this course, Ankit? I mean, there is Udemy, YouTube, Google, ChatGPT, whatnot, right? So what is the value add? What is the edge here? You will hear me use that word edge a lot because I started doing some uh, stocks investments as well for a long time now, and that is the word that is kind of used there. But having said that, the answer basically is that if you look at any course, Udemy, YouTube, whatever, most of them try to market it as, that you will learn Python in like 5 hours, 6 hours, or you have to just spend 10 hours of total and you will be done. So that is something which doesn't actually set well with me, and that is why you will see that most people do those courses but they do not still understand Python. Because there's one thing to read code and understand it, and then there's completely different thing to actually be able to write the code yourself. Now, of course, there's Google, there's Chat GPT, whatnot, but again, when you're in a real working environment, which I'm not sure how many of you have already seen depending on your experiences, but since I have very vast experience, I have seen this a lot. So I can tell you, there's no chat GPT, there's no Google, there's no Udemy, there's no YouTube that's going to help you. It's only your brain that's going to help you. And that's why you need to understand that understanding Python basics is very, very important, very critical. So that is why this is going to be a detailed course. It's not like you'll be a Python expert in a week. I do not claim that. I do not even recommend that, for the simple reason I just mentioned. So that is the first thing that you get. And most people don't understand that if you just write 5 lines of code and you think you understand that code, again, I'm going to repeat myself. Understanding a written code is very simple, but having the ability to write that code yourself is the most bigger challenge. So during this vast experience of mine, and like I was saying, I'm a senior architect now. I do a lot of interviews for my company, all the technical rounds. So what I have seen during these experiences is that people can write code. They can write sometimes even beautiful lines of code. But when it comes to explaining their code, when it comes to answering the queries when you ask them, they are not able to do that. So that is the second very important aspect of this course. So how I generally run these courses is, number one, they're very, 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 very interactive. So I'm not like the guy, oh, you shouldn't be asking me questions. You should be asking me a lot of questions. Make it more interactive. So that gives you the edge that when you actually present yourself in an interview, you don't have the hitch to speak, right? So that's one. Second, I use a lot of my relevant experience here, and I have so many friends in all the big companies, especially the FANG. So I understand FANG's way of interview very well. And if you don't understand FANG, it's basically the big companies like Facebook, which used to be Facebook, now it's Meta, Apple, Amazon, Google, and Netflix. So these are considered to be one of the toughest to crack in terms of interviews. So I understand the process very well. So now the second piece is that you also need to understand how to answer an interview question. First, you have to understand what the interviewer is saying, and then you have to also understand how you're going to answer it in a way that the interviewer understands it. And the third most important thing that you're going to learn is called code optimization. I guarantee you, none of the Udemy, YouTube, ChatGPT will be able to explain that, because you need to first understand the basic level of code and then go to the next level, which I call it as core Python, wherein you start optimizing the code. And that is the USP of this course. All after the basics that I'm going to teach is going to be just code optimization. So I'll tell you what, people, or even I've seen some Udemy courses, they would just talk about Lambda functions, maybe like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour max. But they don't understand Lambda is like a basic building block of all the code optimization. So I spend days on these critical topics like Lambda functions, how to use it, where to use it, how to use them to optimize your code, then also how to use list functions, map, reduce. All these things you won't find easily in all those selling courses, because they don't want to sell you something which is longer, because then you would say, oh, it's boring. But again, this is something where I like to go in detail, and I like to teach code optimization in great detail. Also, some advanced concepts, which I like to call advanced Python, are gonna be dealt in detail. For example, generators, decorators. You won't find those examples, excuse me, or those things anywhere in these courses. So these are things that FANG companies are looking for. That's why they have to interview so many people. Like, if I'm not at a liberty, but if I just have to guess and tell you, the amount of people we interview to the ratio that we actually hire is very, very less, because we're always looking for things like that. And most people think, oh, I know Python, I answered all the questions, then why did not I get selected? If you've been on that side, then you understand what I'm saying. So this is what is lacking, and that is what is I'm gonna guarantee you, and I'm gonna give you as the value add, which is why you should look forward for joining, whether Python with DevOps or scripting. So we have different streams. Sachin might have explained you that. If not, you can still go back and ask him. I think he has posted his information in the chat. So if you joined late, maybe you can just scroll it up or whatever it is. I'm not looking at the chat, by the way. So this is how it goes. Step one, we'll all learn basics of Python. So if you had a question in your mind, is this for me? I've never coded in my life. I don't know Python. I have no idea. Absolutely, it is. If you can follow what I'm saying, if you have the zeal to learn, if you have basic internet, if you have a computer to practice, that's all you need. And so that's how we're going to learn step one, which is basics. And there will be a lot of assignments. So please make sure if you're somebody who doesn't know a lot of Python or a lot of coding, you should take them very seriously. Step two, we go to code optimization again, which is like I was saying, I called it as code Python. So code optimization is very important. And then, of course, the final piece, which is advanced Python, which is the object oriented programming. That is the backbone of any framework today that you have. And you already know that Python is, being loved by everything. It's like you name it and Python is somewhere there. So I'll give you a simple example. Most of you would be using Instagram, I'm sure. So the Instagram, I don't know if you guys know, was actually built on Django and Matplotlib. Both are Python frameworks. In fact, our final demo today would be using, I'll show you how to use Django, which is one of the most critical, most difficult frameworks. So Instagram was completely built on that. So Python, even if you don't know things that you're using, could still very well be built using Python. It is so much common these days. And that is why, no doubt, it is the number one required skill to get into job market. Anywhere, not just US, not just India, not just Canada, anywhere you see. So as long as you have Python in your resume, well, of course, don't get me wrong, not just Python is going to help you. It is going to help you, but it's not going to land you into a job. So you have to have your expectations right, especially if you're a fresher, or if you're somebody who is switching career, or if you're somebody who's taken a break and trying to get back. Um, it will definitely help a lot, but you will have to do a lot more than the others who have some experience. For simple reason, you have to showcase a lot of projects, and we help with all of that. Sachin is gonna actually take that part more than me. I did not used to do that earlier, but now we are doing it because we realize a lot of people need that, and we need to fill that gap. So that kind of a support will be there. Plus, it's like backbone to AI, ML, data science, all these buzzwords that you hear every day. Chatbots, text to speech. I'm sure most of you, or a lot of you, would have used Google and Siri and whatnot. But if you know, the basic building block of them is called TTS, which is a text to speech Python package. Again, Python. So Python is everywhere. And that basically tells you why you need to learn Python, right? Whether you have to run a website, like I said, we're going to talk about Django in some time. Then robots, chatbots. I have made so many chatbots. I made a trading bot for myself, which has helped me tremendously. So essentially, you're going to learn Python in this course, which you can apply based on two things. One, your own interest. Like I use Python for a lot of my personal work, and I'll show you some of those demos as well today. I'm not going to go too much into details, but I'm going to just show you how it can help you make your daily life more better. And if you're subscribed to the Instagram channel, there are some videos there as well, and we'll continue to post those there as well. And then if you want to use it in your work, and if let's say you're from DevOps background, so we're going to be talking about scripting a lot, especially in the DevOps stream, then you can use that in your own day-to-day professional work as well, which will really help you. I know a person who was in one of the previous batches. Again, when I used to do this earlier in India, he was uh, he was a DevOps professional, but he joined the course only because he said, "Ankit, I always get asked, do you know this in scripting? Do you know that in scripting?" And he was good at shell scripting, which is also very good, by the way. Shell scripting itself is a beast, but again, what shell scripting can do, Python can probably do it in very, very code efficient way. Again, going back to what I said 2 slides above, code optimization matters a lot. And every company wants to move there. Nobody wants to use old style of programming, even though it still works, but they still want to use Python because of highly optimization that's available inside Python. So I don't want to make this very boring, like a slideshow and stuff like that. So I'm going to just take you a little bit to some of the demos I have. Also, I have a list of questions at the end. Let me just share it quickly. So most of your questions will be answered here, but feel free to post them in chat, or when we go to Q&A, unmute and ask yourself. I really like to hear people talk rather than chat, but it's up to you. If you are still those shy kinds, that's fine. But when we actually go into the course, I'll make sure everybody starts talking, because I want you guys to talk. I want you guys to even take that hitch out, so that when the time comes at your interview, you don't have that hitch. And that's another reason why I ask people to be interactive. Also, almost every session, I'll start with basic of that topic. And by the end, I'll tell you how the interview is going to ask the question. What happens sometimes is, actually most of the times is, the person doesn't even understand what the question was. He knows the answer to it once he understands the question, but the way interviewer is going to ask the question, and you have to figure out the underlying aspect of it, what exactly he is looking from the answer from you. He may be asking for just one line of answer, and you are giving him 10 lines of answer, which is beating around the bush, but you're not, hitting the nail. So you have to understand two things: what the question is being asked, and second, how to answer that question in an interview. That is also the USP of this course, because I have so much of experience through these big companies and my own self, where I interview a lot of people. I can easily impart that knowledge, and I've done that in the past as well. So now, as a slide says, automate websites. That's just one thing, because I'm just going to show you something, and it will look like, okay, you can do so much of things with 4 lines of code. By the way, these lines of code were in your Python guide as well. Not sure how many of you went through that guide that was sent through the email, but let's just quickly take a look at it, what it can do and what not. So I'm hoping everybody got this. I'm just going to quickly touch on this. These are the different streams we have. So this is with DevOps, because Sachin told me DevOps is something which we're probably going to start first. And again, all the initial concepts, these are called basic concepts, these are called core concepts until here, not sorry, until here, are going to be same. It's only the last piece of portion which is more towards the actual project and your stream. So if you're choosing scripting, you would be choosing this. If you're choosing web development, which is the final demo today, you'll be choosing the Django version. And if you're choosing, let's say somebody wants to get into stocks automation, then you can choose that. And somebody already knows Python, then I would say get on to advanced Python and get on to AI, because AI is the next big thing, as all of you know. I don't even have to talk about it. Everybody is talking about AI. You guys have heard AI is taking jobs, but at the same time, if you don't know AI, you will be the first one to get out of the job. Let me put it simply as that, because we need to make AI our friend, not our foe. If we keep saying I don't want to learn AI, and believe me, I was there like about 5 or 6 years ago. I was like, I don't want to learn AI when data science and AI ML was just gearing up, and all my friends were doing it. They were posting on LinkedIn and whatnot, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm good. And I realized that was not a good choice, because I need to make AI my friend rather than go against it. And that is what is going to leave me with a long lasting job and a higher paying job as well. Anyways, lots of jibber jabber. I just want to give you an idea. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask Sachin. He will relate to me. And I'm not going to go in detail, but you can look. This is quite an old feedback from when I used to do it in India, but you can go it at your own pace. These are the questions. Some of them have written all by themselves, but you can go through it. And these are real from Google Forms. Having said that, I'm going to take this out, and let's just go to our first example. So sometimes it goes to one of my other screens. I have multiple screens here, but let's see. I'm going to try for it to go in here. All right. So this is the one that I was talking about in the PPT, and let me first show you what it does. It's very simple. I just need. Oop, it went on to my other one. Like I said, so I just need, when I'm starting my day, sometimes when I'm trying to get into investments or stock trading, I need some of the websites that I need to open every time. So either you can go to your bookmarks, or what I can do is just this. I like to click here, and as you can see, all the bundle is getting opened up exactly where I wanted them to be. For example, I don't want this to be without this. So I would not use it that way. But this is a very simple example. I just wanted to show you basically you can automate anything that you think. So if just ask a question to yourself, are you doing this repeatedly, right? Then there's definitely a way to code it in Python. And that is what is called, that is why Python is magical. People think it's magical, but it's not. It's just simple coding once you understand how it works. So let's quickly go and take a look at the source code. Of course, I don't expect any of you to understand that right now. Let me close this up. But yep, there you go. I don't know how much of it is visible. It's too small. Let me see if I can increase the font. Okay, let me copy it in my VS Code. So, what is this? This is a Visual Studio Code editor. This is one of the editors we'll be covering on day one. So don't worry what it is, but I'm just giving you an idea. This is from Microsoft. It's completely free. All the softwares that we'll have will always be free. I will never ask you to buy anything. And secondly, statistically speaking, this is the code, sorry, the visual code. I'm just trying to move the zoom screen, so I'm distracted a little bit. Yeah, there you go. So this is the most widely used um, code editor, and it's really one of the best. But we'll talk about Anaconda, we'll talk about Jupyter, we'll talk about everything so that you can put those in your resume. All right, having said that, simple. I just create a list. I don't know how many of you know that this is a list. Of course, what is a list, why it is like this, we'll talk about in detail when we start our classes, but I'm just giving you an idea. And I just simply copy all the bookmarks that I have or the URLs that I want. And then it's simply, I write a function and I call this. Now, everybody will see, oh, Ankit, it's very simple. It's just one line of code. But if I ask them, and I'm not asking you guys, if I ask somebody who says I know Python, most of them would not be able to explain me this line of code. It's just one line of code. But this is what I was saying earlier. Most people can understand the written code. Like you guys can also understand. All I'm doing is just going through this one by one and then using something called web browser. The name suggests, and that's why Python is nice, right? It's easy to understand. Chrome is my browser, and all I'm saying is open these. Fair enough. And that is what people answer in the interview. But that's not what an interviewer is looking for. What they're looking for is, what is this? Is this a class? What is this? Is this a class? Is this an object? And what is this? Is this a function or is this an object function? That's what they are interested to know, especially when you show them some lines of code. So this is a classic example which I wanted to talk about. Most people will tell you, oh, you're importing a module, Ankit, not a big deal, called web browser, and OS is for operating system. And then simply you're giving a list, and then simply you're running a loop, and you're calling it using the web browser class or module, right? That's all everybody's going to tell. But when you're done with this course, you yourself would know what this actually means. There's no way I can explain that today because it's advanced object-oriented programming concept here. So that's why I keep going back to OOPS, because OOPS is the most important thing that you need to understand in any language, not just Python, and specifically Python. Why? Because every code or most of the code that you're going to see is going to be using object-oriented programming. So while we're on that topic, let me just show you and this won't be a demo because somehow my AC2 sorry EC2 instance. One second, let me get this code first. Has died today, so I can't show you. But this is a very simple thing, and this is for DevOps guys. So now everybody knows EC2 instance, I'm assuming. If not, then it is basically an AWS concept. And all this code that I'm trying to do, I don't know if anybody can explain it, but all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to log in into the EC2 client or EC2 instance that I have on AWS platform. Now, again, when I show you the code, I think most of you will understand. It's very simple, Ankit. You're importing a module, then you're trying to open a session, calling it EC2, big deal. This is your username and your password, which is the SSH key file. And then this is the region from there and all that stuff. And then all you're doing is you're just sending these commands there, right? This is pretty much evident from this code, even if you don't know Python. But if I ask anybody, if as an interviewer I'm asking anybody to explain me this code, I bet 90% people will not be able to explain it the way interviewer wants it. not the way like we are talking. So just to give you a very simple idea right now, so you would start something like, what is Boto 3 and why are you importing it? So basically Boto 3 is an AWS software development kit, SDK, for Python. That's how you start answering. Now there's a big difference, right? Earlier I was saying, or the first interviewee was saying, oh, it's just a Boto 3 is a module from Python that you're importing. But now I'm saying, hey, I'm importing a module who's called AWS SDK for Python. And what it does, it basically lets you interact with your EC2 instances, or even other stuff like they have S3 buckets and whatnot. I don't use AWS a lot because they are our competitors, so I can't really go much into it. But I chose this example because I know most people use that. And then of course SHA's username and this I don't need to. But again, this is a very important line. What is it doing? Again, the novice guy or the regular guy would come and tell me, oh, you're opening up a session to your EC2 instance. And then you're going to use that session to do whatever you want to do. Okay, perfect. All right, good. Let's move on. But that's not what the interviewer was looking for. The interviewer was looking for something in more detail. For example, what does this do? This is a function inside the Boto 3 module. What it does, it creates a Boto 3 session. How it does, it uses your profile name. So this is something you would have configured in the GUI of AWS. And then essentially these are your credentials. And these are the region name from that. And what is this? The first interview didn't explain that, right? So this whole line is basically returning an EC2 client object. Again, object oriented programming. So everything in Python revolves around object oriented programming. So essentially what this is doing, this is returning the EC2 client object that allows basically to open a session, and using that session you can do EC2 API stuff, basically API calls, and then later using that you're going to send these commands using the for the API. So that's how you should be explaining. Again, I'm trying to be very, very conservative here because you guys don't understand much, but that is the difference I'm trying to tell and showcase what needs to be done. So this is a very simple program, like I was saying, for DevOps guys. Same thing you can do in Paramiko. So Paramiko is another module. See how the way similar thing, it is doing completely in a different aspect. Again, they're going to ask you what is Connect, what is this, what are you trying to do? You have to explain it in detail as well. All right, I'm not going to bore much with the code. Let's just go a little bit. I just want to take a pause. If anybody has any question or somebody thinks I'm going too fast or too slow, please let me know so that I can adjust the pace. You can either put in chat or you can unmute and talk. Okay. I'm assuming everybody's good with the pace then.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sorry. Perfect. Thank you. All right. So now let's go to something more deeper. So of course, I'm not going to repeat all this. As you know, we saw some DevOps stuff. This is our final demo, so I'm gonna keep it for the last. But this is something I'm not gonna be going too much into detail because then it gets into financial and stuff. But what I'm trying to say is you can pick and choose whatever stream you like. If I were you, like if I was starting earlier or 50 and 15 years ago or wherever you guys are in your career, I would really want to get into AI, because the earlier you get into AI, it's much better. And I'm not even sure if you guys have heard about agentic AI, Gen AI, all these, and there used to be AI, ML, and stuff like that. Now nobody cares about ML, even though basics are still there. The all the LLMs models and everything still hold, but now after Chat GPT, a lot has changed. So agentic AI is something which is getting too much of attention right now. So everything still revolves around understanding Python and object-oriented programming concepts. Again, I'm going to go back just a second to, oh, did I close it? Let me open any one. This piece, so that you guys understand it, what I'm saying. So you have to understand this. You might be thinking, oh, it's only 5 topics. This alone is going to take the bulk of our time, at least good 2 and 2.5 weeks, could be even more, depending on the pace of the group. So this is what we need to learn basically on our tips. We should know it very, very clearly, especially inheritance, especially polymorphism. What I just showed you on both those examples, that was nothing but inheritance. So you have to understand this. Now, in order to understand this, you have to understand all of this in great detail. That's why I keep going back to where I started. Understanding your basics is very important. And Udemy and YouTube and whatnot, most of the time people just rush through it. They finish this in a day or max like 2 days. I give list a full day. Strings and tuple at least a full. Tuple is small, but strings has so much to understand, because if you don't understand strings, you're not going to understand dictionaries. So I think I did not mention that. Did I close it? Let me bring it back. So I don't even know if anybody knows Python here, but if you know, this is the line I was talking about. Where is it? Yeah, this one. So you know what this does basically, not this one, sorry, filters here. So if you know, or especially somebody from the old batch might remember, this is a dictionary. But what is it really? It's a nested dictionary, and it contains all the details of the matching instances with my name and my value. So what is a nested dictionary? That is what the interviewer is gonna ask you. So you have to leave cues for the interviewer. But somebody might just come and say, "Oh, so explain this." Okay, so you're getting a target instance array, or a list, and you're getting all the instances which match this name. That's also one way to explain it, but that's not what a good coder would explain, but something you would leave for the interviewer, that okay, I'm returning basically a nested dictionary here. For that, you need to understand what dictionary is. For that, you need to understand what nested dictionary is. So that's why you have to understand the basics very, very thoroughly. So we're going to spend some time, a good amount of time on all these things, is what I'm trying to say. Anyways, let's go back to where we were. Right. So let me just quickly. So there was actually, it's an interesting story. There was a guy in my previous batch. I don't remember which batch again. I've done so many batches earlier. So he said, Ankit, can we do something in trading and stocks investment? Again, I don't expect you guys to understand all of this, but I'm just giving you a brief idea. So he gave me a good idea, and then I started working on the script. So I have many scripts here. So simple. If you look at this one, for example, I'm sure all of you might not know this, but these are basically the big seven names, and you need to understand how these companies are working on a day-to-day basis. So all I did, I wrote a simple program which basically I run every morning, and I have a automated cron job for this, which automatically logs into my system in Python environment and runs this for me and sends me an email, which I'm going to show. So everything is automated. Again, something like what agentic AI is. Just to give you a brief idea, I'm not selling any of this to you. I'm not trying to give you any financial advice. It's just trying to make you guys understand how you can use Python in your daily life. So of course it's going to show this time because we're running it right now. But if you quickly take a look, so for example, Nvidia was down in pre-market by 0.31%. Meta was down by 0.15%. Let's look at this one. This is easy to track actually. This is the last day's close of the stock price. Again, if you don't understand stocks, don't worry. I'm just showing you how you can use your knowledge. So for example, Amazon was up yesterday or today actually 1.4%. If anybody wants to give it a quick look, let's quickly check. Can't move my screen. 1 second. There you go. So I use a package for Yahoo Finance. That's what I'm not gonna show you the code because that's just gonna take forever. And I want to get on the final one. So AMZ is a ticker for Amazon. There you go. 1.4%. 1.4%. So this is something you would have to go through every day through all the companies, and sometimes it's not easy. You keep forgetting, but this gives you a very neat and cleaner look, right? Now you'll be thinking it's very simple. Yeah, it is simple, but again, if you look, what is this? This is just a list, right? But at the end, you have to understand pandas for it. What are pandas? What is a PD frame? What is date time? What is Yahoo Finance? Basically, we're talking about, but at the same time you don't have to memorize these things. Once you understand what it is, then you just simply do it as you want to do it. I'm just going to show you guys one more example where this is like, not this one. Yeah, this one. So this was one of my biggest code, as you can see, which I wrote in this. And the only reason I'm showing this is because I want to show you, this is all commented out right now, that when you start, you always start with small. You don't start with the big. That's how you, even a project is started. Even a product is started like that. You start building code step by step, and then you keep optimizing it, keep making it better. Even if you see, I still have these. That means even though this is a working version, I still want to make it better. So this is how I basically do. I just give a note to myself, and then I search for it everywhere where it is, and then I look at that code, and then I further optimize it. But having said that, let me show you what this does. So basically, it's going to take a look at these, and all of the, I can't show you more of that because it has my password and stuff. Again, this one is commented, but what's going to show you is in the last ever 1 hour or 4 hour, if there was a big breakout for anything, and it's going to send me an automated email. So let's just quickly look at it. Email should come here. Something went wrong. Yep, there it is. So it says no new signals because I did not have a signal. But I'll just give you one quick example. I did not take this trade again. Like I said, I'm not trying to sell this. I'm just trying to tell you. If you look at it, there was. I have to still move this again. One. Let's look at this one. So August 10th, there was a 1 hour breakout based on uh, this script itself, which was automatically sent to me. Here it is. Sorry, this is the one I was looking at. It gives me the time and exact. So I can't even fake it. It's 4 days ago. It's an email on Gmail, right? And if you see, it is showing you this. Now I'm going to quickly just 1 more minute, and I'm going to show you how this could have helped me so much. I'm going to bring this here. This is again a trading software. You don't have to worry about it. So that was August 10th, 11 p.m. It's right here. This is one RBO that you see. The same thing that I converted it here using my own script. And if you look at it, if I would have gotten in, I did not. Again, I'm repeating that. And if I would have held it, how, where it is going, it is about 7% in 5 days. 10th August, and sorry, what is it? 33 days. So all I'm trying to tell you is you have to decide how you want to utilize Python for yourself. Again, it for somebody it might be different uh, example. For somebody it might be DevOps. For somebody it might be their own website. Like I was telling another person in the group, he was from networking background. So the next demo that I'm going to show you, which is the main demo, the Django based, he basically used my code and he created his own website for networking. So if you have any networking background, it basically he created a IP subnet finder in a website format, very interactive website. He completely used Django for that. Just and it quite mimics the one that I have also. But at the same time, he was able to use that in his GitHub and market himself in the resume. So he also not just did that, he also did some of small projects. And that's what I'm trying to say. If you want to build your profile, we are there to help you. But you are the one who's going to build those projects. You are the one who's going to come up with the ideas. You have to work on it and then slowly build your profile. And then I think he cracked his interview in 3 or 4 attempts, not the first attempt. Let's be very practical. Let's be very clear about it. I mean, you can, who knows? But all I'm saying is we have to be realistic that not everybody is going to crack the first interview. I mean, when I gave my first interview, I didn't even know what constructor was 25 years ago. So it's not like you. There's no magic pill. Basically, is what I'm gonna say. What I'm trying to say. That this course will, by doing this course, you're gonna get a job or something like that. I know one of our. I got to know from Sachin, one of our student had put that somewhere, but that's not true. I just want to say that I really value the appreciation that student said that she got a job from our course. I honestly don't even know right now because this was long back. But having said that, that should not be the expectation. The expectation should be to understand Python. The expectation should be to make use of it, and like I said at the beginning, to be able to write code in it, good amount of code. And then the second level of expectation from yourself should be that I should be able to write the code in a very optimized way. And that is how you're going to crack the big companies and the big interviews. And that's also the building block to AI. So it's like you first understand Python basics, then you understand advanced Python. That becomes basics to AI, the advanced Python. So you are at step 2, now you have to go to step 3. So first you have to understand step 1, right? It's a simple ladder. You cannot jump step 1. You can Most people come to me and say, oh, hey Ankit, I know Python, can you teach me AI? I can, but that's not going to help them because they will not understand most of it until they don't understand Python in detail. So that's the main thing that I'm being trying to explain from the last 45 minutes. I hope you guys are getting a picture, and that is what I wanted to talk about. Now, so yeah, this I already covered. Who should join? So like I said, if you're a beginner, you don't have to worry. If you're somebody who doesn't ever have coded anything in any language, not just Python. Like I started first with basic. I don't even know if you guys know that language, but that was in my 12th grade, I think, or 10th grade. And then I started with a proprietary language of my customer. So you can be from any background, is all I'm trying to say. There are career switches, like I said here. You can be from non-IT as well, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is just show up every day, do the assignments, try to grasp the concepts, try to understand what I'm trying to explain. If you don't understand, so Sachin would be putting us in a WhatsApp group finally, whoever would pay and everything. But you will have direct access to me, to him, and sometimes to other people as well. As we go further, I have my own group where I keep putting people, where they keep talking about ideas and stuff. I have also created an AI group, which is still very young because I don't have, I have not taken a lot of AI courses specifically. But anyways, you will get all of this. It's more like an institution, but not an institution. At the same time, the onus lies on you, right? You have to do that. We are there to help you in every aspect, but the onus is on completely on you. We will help you with resumes, whatnot. So if you ever thought that, hey, I want to learn Python, where should I start? This is the perfect place for you. And if you're curious about AI, you want to understand how to get into AI or trading or technology or IT field or development or QA or DevOps scripting, uh, anything that you think of, you can. This is the right place for you to be, basically. All right. So yes, just to reiterate this, we'll have hand-on sessions all every day. I'll be sharing the code, so I'll talk about that a little bit later here, and I'll leave that for you guys to read. But basically, any age, any skill. I'm also coming up with a, because I'm partnering up with a institute here in US and a school. So I'm making a course just for people who are trying to get into college and they know basic Python already, but they don't know advanced Python. So it will be tailor made for them. So if you have somebody or if you have kids, feel free to reach out again to Sachin. He will know everything about it and he can guide you from there. All right, without further ado, let's go to the main demo. But I'll just take a small pause for a sip of water. Anybody has any question, please let me know. This is a good time to ask some questions. All right, I take it as a no. So this is something which I wrote long back, and I've been training people on this earlier. So I never worked as a web developer, and this is something which is like a small web development project. So you'll see something like a very small website which talks about supply chain management, or you can tailor make it. Like another guy I just remember actually made it for uh, what is it called in India? A kid school, basically. I think they call it crèche or something. So he used this as a basic building block, and he created a good website. He actually had even hosted it on cloud, and he used to give me access to it. But I think there was something, so I would have shown you that as well, but something happened with the with his customer, so I don't know what is the status now. I don't want to get into it, but I'm just saying, once you understand the project, you can tailor make it to anything that you want. So let's just quickly go through it. I don't want to show my secret key and stuff. So the way you start Django is, and just another um, recap what Django is. So Django is a framework. It's one of the most complex framework. that is out there that is used for web development. Some people say it is a full stack. Full stack in layman terms would be something like wherein you don't need anything for web development, just this would be enough. But I don't agree with it, and you'll see it in a minute why I'm saying that. So I mostly think of it as a very good backend network, very strong backend, because it's used in AWS, it's used in so many places. Like I was saying, Instagram, and there's so many other places where Django is used as a backend. Because in today's world, nobody likes boring stuff. Everybody wants something which they can, play around with it. So that's why they call it as React JS. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. So that is all on top of it. But again, if you're a good programmer or if you understand once programming, all that becomes very easy for you to learn. So, sorry, what did I do? Where is my cursor? Okay, it's back. So, of course, you won't understand the code right now, and that's not my intention. I'm just giving you a brief demo of what you're going to learn. But when the time comes, and if you choose Django or database along with Python, we are going to write this whole code that you see, all this code, step by step. The whole project is a live project. I'll start from scratch, and it's like we write every line of code step by step, and we finish this project in about 4 days, sometimes 3 days, sometimes 5 days. It all depends on the people. And I also take sometimes classes on weekends, just to cover this up if people are lacking or if people need more attention. Anyway, so here it is. As some of you might know, this is called a loopback address. So essentially, right now, I'm running this on my laptop. This is my laptop's IP. So if I just click on it, it went into another thing as usual. Let me bring it here. Here it go. Here it is. So, like I said, it's more like a purchase portal, which is something like very far version of an Amazon. So, what you do on Amazon, you go on Amazon and you look for products. For example, let me show you iPhone 16 Pro Max, for example, right? So you get a lot of options, and then you can either click on this, you can do see options and stuff like that, and you see a picture. And when you click on it, you go inside and you see a big detailed version of it. And then, of course, stuff like this, add to cart and all. This is a very, very miniature version of it. So I'm just showing you how to do it. So if you go to products, so right now I only have products. I don't have stuff like orders and all that stuff. That is the second part of the assignment I ask people to do, and they have done it almost every time, and I'm there to review the code. But this is just to showcase the basic idea of how to use Django. So as you can see, when I go to products, these are all the products that I have listed. I'm going to add a product right now, which is what being the part of demo is. And I'll also show you on the back end. I'm running a database as well, which is PostgreSQL, which is again one of the most complex databases. So that's the whole reason I chose this framework and the database, because when I explain it, you understand how to write that code for the most complex framework. And once you understand that, then Flask or anything out there which is very simple version of it, you will be able to do it. I even tell you how to go through documentation, and I always say, you don't really need to buy any books. Trust me. And I'll be sharing a lot of books, by the way, all in PDF at the end of the course. But I'm saying you don't really need it as long as you're able to follow the official websites. Always follow official websites. I don't like this Geeks for Geeks and all this. They're all paying Google to be up on here, but you don't really need those. Go to the official website, and so I also tell you to go for Python also. Why is it showing this guy? Welcome to python.org. So you will understand how to even go through the documentation in detail. So as you can see, it clearly tells you what is the first step, installation, whatnot. I'm not going to go in details, but I'm just showing you that I teach you everything, what to search, where to search in documentation, right? So for example, request and responses, you will see how to write this part, and that is what I'm just going to show you in a minute. And this is what I just gave, if you see, right, when I started the command. So it makes your life easier tomorrow, because There are zillion frameworks, guys, zillions of frameworks. I don't even know how many frameworks. There's many frameworks in short. But I can't teach every framework, right? Nobody can, and nobody can know every framework. And tomorrow, who knows? There's a new framework that is coming, and your test lead wants you to use that framework. So what are you gonna say? Hey, I only learned Django, or I only learned DevOps, I only learned Boto 3. No, right? So you should be able to understand and pick it up on the go. That's the whole idea. And like I was saying, I've never done web development. The only reason I chose this for my own self and my students, because it's one of the most complicated code that I have seen at least. And I figured if I teach this, it will make it much easier for everybody to understand, how to go by writing the actual code. So this will treat it like a real project, as if you're working in a team. You guys can, be a group as well, and you guys can talk to each other however you want to do it. All would be in the WhatsApp. It's all up to you. Again, it all depends on your level of um, seriousness that you want to showcase and be part of that group. Anyways, so like I was saying, so this becomes like your serial number, this is your category, this is your small picture, and if you want to go more details, you click on view more. So you guys might have seen this changes just like Amazon, right? And then you get into the detailed page with all the pictures and whatnot. So before and then this is the admin mode, which is because I'm doing a demo right now. Of course, that's the only way you can see it. So I'm going to show you a live demo right now. I'm going to add a new category. I'm sorry, I'm going to add a new product. I'll show you back in the database as well where it is. But before that, let me show you some cool stuff about Django. So Django is very easy, guys, in terms of understanding. It works on DRY principle. Anybody knows what that is? Don't repeat yourself. So Django itself says, hey, don't repeat yourself, meaning don't write unnecessary code. So if you look, when you first install, and again, I'm going to show you everything when we go through it, all of this piece, for example, will be there. Whatever you see after the comments, that is my code that I've written. So a lot of predefined code is already available in most of the frameworks, not just Django. Django specifically says that don't work on repeating yourself, but a lot of pre-populated code is already there. We just need to know how to use it, where to use it, and that's where this where was that documentation, official documentation, really helps. As you can see, everything is available here, right? So let me just quickly show you how easy you can change your website in a minute. So before we go there, this is where I personally chose to use PostgreSQL, which is also one of the very known databases or very sought after databases these days. But Django by default comes with SQLite 3. So I'll show you when the time comes how to change it and all, but I'm not using SQLite 3 because it's very simple. You can't really make a very good website out of it. So this is where I have done all the pre-population work. Yeah, this is what I was going to show you. So right now you see the admin mode or the website is in English. It's just one simple thing, and you can change it to any other language. I think German is DE. And the other good thing is the moment I do Control S, it automatically recompiles the code. I don't have to do it. Let's just refresh the page. You see, Google Translate is saying it's in German now. The whole website just got translated in just one simple thing. Recently, I found out they have Hindi also as an option. What happened? Oops, sorry. It's not Hindi. I think it's HIN or something. Nope. Yeah, HI for Hindi. Let's see. Yep, there you go. So that is how the frameworks, modern day frameworks work. Just to do this, to make a website and just to do this basic framework, in olden days, if anybody's from Java background, they might know it. It used to take at least 2 weeks minimum, even if you are one of the best coders. And now look at the advancements in the coding. You can just simply do it. You can just simply spin a new website in like 5 minutes. You can just download this package, install it, and it will give you a very, very basic website, something like saying here, welcome to Django or something like that. We'll see when we go to that part also. But instead of this, it'll just say welcome to Django. At least you have something to work with. You have all these forms available. You just have to add this part, right? Okay, I don't want to keep talking about it. So let's go. These are all my pre-populated stuff. Before that, I'll show you. um so this is a tool called pgadmin. Again, details later. This, what it does is basically it's a way to connect to your databases. Again, everything is free. I'm just repeating it. I never ask you to download any paid softwares. And then database, everything is schema, as you might know, and the public schema. So this is where the two. So if you look at these 10 tables, except for product and product category, they were already created by Django. I did not had to worry about it. That's the beauty of Django. That's the DRY principle. Now, when I created these two, let me just show you all the data in it. So this is running a SQL query. It also shows you here. That's why I like this GUI. So pgadmin is just a GUI utility which interacts with your databases, specifically PostgreSQL. As you can see right now, I'm connected to PostgreSQL. And this will show you in the database what all I already have. This is all the backend where Django is connected to Postgres and is picking up from. So now if I want to go ahead and add, let's see. So what is, this is row number 10. Let's add something new. I don't even know what to add now. Okay, let's add iPhone. So product number is like a serial number. I'm just gonna give something. Mobile phones, iPhone 16 Pro Max. All right. I don't know how many people notice, but the moment I give a space and I start writing something, do you see there's a dash here? This is called slugs. So in my original, like when I used to do this very in the beginning, I did not had this. So one of the guys in the group only said, Ankit, I want to be able to write blogs using Django. Again, Django can be used in many ways, right? So one thing in blogs is, actually, let me open this and show it to you. Then you'll understand. So if you go to any website, any news website, right? Let's say go to this one and I click it. Watch closely here. You see what happens? Wherever there's a space, I don't know if you guys knew it, it basically turns into dashes. This is called slugs. So this is a Google SEO concept, basically, which is, again, it's a different concept altogether, but in simple terms, that's how your news, it's a breaking news, so it wants to come up right in your searches. So that's what helps. So this is very important in blogs as well, because you want your blog to be available if you search anything on it. So slugs really help that. So I actually studied myself for that person, and I added this for him, and I thought I'll keep it forever. So this is how it is, basically. So you just write whatever you want to write it here, and it will automatically convert into the dash part. Let's say 15.99. I don't even know how much it costs. Let's go 14.99. So you may see these are all bold, but this is grayish, which basically means these are mandatory, and this is not mandatory. So I can leave it, but I cannot leave any of this. Let's give some decimal also. Now, again, this is something which is not a part of Django, but I loved it because I don't have to do this. And this is something you guys might have seen on every website these days. If you go on any website, they automatically show you the current time and date. Now it is showing 8:01 because I think it's, as you can see here, it's showing the website time or the browser time, not my real time. I am in Eastern time zone, so my time is 10:30 actually, but doesn't matter. It will basically go with that. I don't want to talk about this right now. This is more for later. Latest iPhone. Now, the reason I have mini description and description, again, going back to the blog guy, Django only gives you this field. But if you look at it, it's so boring. You can't even do bold and italics and whatnot. So I found out a third party app which is called CK Editor. It's a very common app that is being used, and I added it in this app. You might see. I'll show you the full code later. See, external apps. So now if you see, you have every option. You can convert it into PDF, you can send it to printer, bold, italic, whatnot, right? Also, I'll show you how to get these details and stuff. But the best part about this is this iPhone 16 Pro Max Wikipedia. I can simply go to any website. So let's say Apple is about to launch 17 or whatever they are going to do now, right? So Amazon will get all that data. What they can do one night before that, they will have everything simply copy pasted. But if I do that here, you see everything goes. But here, all the hyperlinks, even the pictures are automatically copied. That is the beauty of CK Editor. So again, imagination, whatever you want, you can all add it here. Now I just have to use some pictures. I'm going to use 15 only for now. I'm going to hit save. Okay, I got product iPhone 6 saved. Now, when we learn this, you'll see that this is nothing but an object of a class that I have created. Again, object-oriented programming concepts. Let me quickly just show you. So I know you won't follow it. Here it is, the class product. This is my product. This is what you're seeing, everything there. So now we have created an object, which is called iPhone 16 Pro. So now you can understand all these are objects basically. Having said that, before I show you on the main website, or let's first see it on the main website. There you go. We just added this. This is the latest iPhone. So this is what you see now, the mini description. And when you click on view more, you can see everything, and even these hyperlinks also work. That is the beauty of CK Editor, right? But I just didn't want to show you this. Now let's go back to our database. As you can see, there is no iPhone 16 here. Let's refresh it. There you go. So all of this happened in real time. So this is how a website development happens. It's just one piece of website, not the website itself, right? We just added products. Then there's orders. Then there is vendors. There's so many things. So now you can understand how all pieces come together. It's not just Python. It's not just Django. It's not just database. You need to understand, first, of course, you need to understand what Python is and how it works. Then you need to understand how you're going to create objects or object-oriented programming. Where is my code? Yeah, like here. And then you need to understand the final piece, how you're going to connect it with the database like PostgreSQL or anything like that. That's how you create a product, a full-blown product. So you can do, especially people who are trying to get into IT, or who are from non-IT background or non-coding background, you will have to do a lot more such projects, not such big projects. You can always do small projects and then put that code on GitHub, make your own GitHub. Again, everything is free, as I've been saying. And then when you send your resume for a position, you can always send a link to your GitHub. You can always put it on your LinkedIn. That's how you build your portfolio. That's how you build your profile. And that's when recruiters will start looking at you. That's when you're going to start getting interview calls. So it's a process. There is no magic pill, guys. And again, I'm repeating it. There is no magic pill. I wish there was one. At least I don't know. If you guys ever get to know, let me also know. So you have to do the hard work, you have to do the labor, and that's when you get to wherever you want to go. Once you understand all of this, if AI is your main uh, criteria or main goal, then you start learning agentic AI, for example, or Gen AI, or ML, machine learning, or whatever you want to do. There are so many things which will open up once you understand Python. That is the main thing. Now I have some questions already here. Please go through them. So the classes is here, as you can see. So the time is for IST as well as US. So depending on which zone you are. So in India time, it will be Tuesday to Saturday, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Generally, the classes go definitely more than an hour. I don't stop just because it's an hour, but again, it can be hour and a half. And total, we are talking about 35 classes, so 1 to 1.5 months, depending on the pace of the group. Plenty assignments, live training, as you saw. And then this is the thing I was talking about. So first, as I've been saying, you don't have to have any background. Absolutely no prior. Actually, no prior coding experience is better for me, so that I don't have you to unlearn something, because there are times when people are from C++ background, then they ask me, Ankit, how this is in C++, then I have to give them the C++ equivalent or Java equivalent, but that doesn't matter to me. I can do all of it. I know Java as well. So, but if you don't have any coding experience, that's actually better for me. Now again, like I said, all you have to do is show up, willingness to learn. Don't expect that you don't show in 2 classes and then the fifth class you say, Ankit, I don't understand that, because that's going to happen, right? Every class is designed like that. You have to understand the previous class. You should be doing the assignments. With assignments, I'm a little okay. You can do it on the weekend as well. Everybody has work and stuff, but the earlier you do, the better for you. And coming back to the timing, is 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. in Indian Standard Time, which is Tuesday to Saturday. These are all your time zones, whichever time zone you're from, Monday to Friday for US. I am in Eastern, so I've taken the last slot. And again, once we finalize the group, we can tweak this a little bit depending on the maximum number of people where they are. It has to suit everybody, not just few people. Then this is important. So every class is going to be recorded like this demo, and it will be shared to you after the class. But the link is only available for 90 days. So today's class will be available from today to 90 days. Tomorrow's class from tomorrow to the next 90 days. So you have to go through the sessions in time. Don't come back asking afterwards, because I also don't have any access to it. I don't know how Sachin has done this, but that is something he has done, and I have no idea. I have no way to even retrieve it. He might have, I don't know, but I'll leave it up to him. I hardly doubt, because he said that's not going to happen also. Source code, basically whatever I'll show in the class, and the PPT, if there's a PPT that I'll be using for that class, I'll share it right after the class. Again, everything is in the WhatsApp group, so you don't have to worry about it. Of course, assignments. And this is something from Sachin. If you want, first two classes can be free, so you can see whether you like it or not, and then you can decide to enroll. But I think he has a special offer. If you enroll today, definitely reach out to him. Classes start on Monday, so you have 3 days of time. And if we get enough people, we might even start on Friday, because I really want to get started with it. And this I already answered. And of course, if you're already aware of Python and today you saw whatever you saw, you think most of it you understand, then ask Sachin about AI courses. That could take a little while, because I said I'm already taking a class on AI for his and other people. But if that is something you're more interested, you don't want to learn, that's fine too. You can ask him. Although I highly recommend, you should understand Python in detail. And he must have shared these three contents. So zero to hero is like just the basic course, and I think scripting, DevOps, and Django and DB. Django and DB is what I was showing you. We'll also have AI, and although this is not the forum, but I'll still say some people might like it. We are also launching very soon. We've actually launched it for trading and stocks investment, but that is not for somebody who is looking for getting into a job or something. It's not really for a job, it's something for your own benefit, like I do it sometimes, like I was showing you some examples. So that's pretty much. I think I've spoken a lot. Feel free to ask any questions now in the chat, or unmute and ask, or later also you can ask Sachin if there's anything. But I'll leave it open for another some time. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask now. And thank you again for joining and hearing me out for the last 1.5 hours. Okay, can I have Sachin number to the cost of training? Okay, so I think he should have. Sachin, if you're listening, can you please post your details? I think he's going to post it, Archana. I'm actually quite not sure how you even got here, if you, because most of the people should have talked to him. But anyways, yeah, there you go. There he goes. Thanks, Sachin. He just pasted it, so you can reach out to him. And I think he's also pasted our link tree, so you can look through it, go through our YouTube channel, Instagram, whatever. And if you don't want to join right now, get enrolled with that form, and so that you'll know. Or I think he has a WhatsApp group, I'm not sure, reach out to him, where you'll know the future demos and when we are starting the next one.
Yeah, Ankit, question. So
Yeah.
the current situation, can I be able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry, what's your name?
Yeah,
I can't see
yeah.
you on the chat for some reason.
Uh, In the my name is Anand.
Okay.
In current the market condition situations, like all companies started using the Copilot, right? Even the
Right.
experienced developers getting fired. Even
Mm.
the people are working more than 10, 12 years in the same project, and Python they are getting fired. But looks like we lost the opportunity. But learning now and all the start from the basic foundations to how to prove ourselves, to get hold of for the current market, it's really bit tough, right? Because everybody started moving AI, companies started using AI
Correct. Correct.
things. So even AI is not, if we give a scenario requirement, AI is giving the detailed description code rather than as a developer sitting and thinking, writing the code, but AI is giving code within a few seconds, couple
Correct.
30 seconds, it will give code. But so
Absolutely.
kind,
So I think,
kind of
yeah.
lost
Mhm.
opportunity. So learning now how we can get sustained to get used to it in the market,
Right.
we don't know who ourselves in the market, right? After learning this.
Right. 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 No, I think you've asked an excellent question. I was waiting somebody asked it. So earlier it used to be when I used to do it earlier, sometime back, like I was saying in the beginning. I don't know if you heard it when I was in India with the other company. The question used to be, Ankit, how do we compete with data science? Because that time data science was the buzz. So right now, of course, there's no hidden fact. AI is the thing. AI is in the boom, and like you said, every company has started firing people uh, because of AI. They're terming AI as a reason, but that is the main thing, Anand. AI itself is the answer to it. What I mean by saying that is, now you only said, right? I'll use your example. AI can write beautiful lines of code in a few seconds. Perfect. But if you see in a real working environment, nobody wants a beautiful or perfectly written code in seconds. It's fine. You can take some time. You know why? Because when it goes to production, that's the most important thing, right? For every company, their end user, their end customer. Like I work in telecom. So we write code for when the calls are happening, or for example this Zoom basically is happening. You won't like it that I write a code and you are not able to hear whatever I'm saying right now in real time, right? Whatever I'm saying right now, if my answer comes to you after even 30 seconds, 30 seconds is a big gap, right? You will think Ankit is not giving me any importance. I'm just giving a real life example to you. So my code was perfect, right? Because it delivered the ask that whatever I'm saying on the Zoom bridge, it is getting converted into packets and then it is going to your computer and it's going to you. But you got it after 30 seconds. The whole purpose of it is lost. The code was perfect if AI was would have, let's say, written it, and everything in a nutshell is good, but still the whole purpose is lost. So that's what I was saying in the beginning. AI is a very helpful tool, and that is a big misconception people are having these days. AI is not taking your job. Basically those jobs are going, or those people are losing jobs who are not using AI. If you see, I don't know about which company you work for, but I know all the big fives: Amazon, Apple, Google. I have friends in Netflix and Oracle, everywhere. Even in my company, they are pushing us to use AI for the same reason, because we want to make AI our friend. Now, coming back, it's a very big question that you actually have asked. Coming back to your actual question, so you were saying you are late to it. There is no never ever late to anything. Anand is what I feel. I mean, could have I learned AI even 7 years ago? Yes, of course, and I could have done maybe better. But how would I know? But the point is, what if you don't learn it now? You're definitely not definitely, but you're most likely to lose a job, or you're most likely to get absorbed by AI. Your job is going to get absorbed by AI. But if you start learning how to work with AI, how to make AI your friend, like I was saying in the beginning, you will actually excel in your job. If you look at for example, all of you, I would say it's a very good question. All of you should search for agentic AI. I don't even know if you guys have heard about it, but agentic AI is the new thing. Now you might say agentic AI is going to take everybody's job. It's basically an autonomous system. In a nutshell, I'm explaining, which is going to do a job for you. But having said that, somebody has to write that code. Somebody has to train AI to be able to do that, right? It's still a world which is not governed by machines. It is still governed by us. The only thing is we need to be ahead of the game. And that's the only way you can be ahead of the game is by learning it. And the earlier you learn it, of course, I'm not denying that if you would have learned this maybe 3 years ago, 5 years ago, you would have been in a much better place. But having said that, that doesn't mean that it is too late or something, you can't do it right now.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
Archana, sorry, yeah, you had a
Thank you
follow up
for.
question? Yeah, no worries. Yeah, that was a good question. I was hoping somebody asked it. Good. Archana is saying I'm having career gap, but having data science certification and did MS in the US. Worried about job interviews is due to ATS. What is ATS? I'm assuming some AI thing, right, Archana? So I'll answer his her question in parts. So Ziplicato tracking. Okay, maybe some tool. I'm not sure. But having so this is something which doesn't go very well with me, and you might call me very weird for that, and I'm fine with it. I don't like certifications. People think, and again, I'm not saying anything to you, Archana, but I'm just saying it in general, that if you have a certification, that helps. Don't get me wrong, it does help. But at the end of the day, you need to be able to showcase your work. That's why I keep going back to that guy's example who created his website and everything. This was about, I think, 4 5 years ago. And he put all these mini projects on his GitHub. He had certifications. I think he had AWS or something. I don't remember now. Back in the day, AWS certification was really a big thing. And you guys won't believe I have no certification at all. Zero. Not even one. So, and I have survived 20 plus years. I think it's 21 years now. So, certification is good, but at the end of the day, that doesn't guarantee you a job. The thing that is going to get you a job is in any field, doesn't matter. That's why I'm not taking specifically your ATS example, but you have to build your profile. These days, that is the differentiating factor. The reviewers will look at you. If you go into HackerRank, and there are websites like that which I'll be sharing during the course, if you start solving those puzzles, you start getting, excuse me, you start getting a rank there, and you can put all those links on your LinkedIn along with certification. These are the things that are very much required these days. The recruiters, even the hiring managers, I being one of the interviewer myself, I can tell you, we prefer more of that. Why? Because, and again, don't get me wrong, I am a true believer of education. You have masters, which is very good. It's very tough to get a masters as well, but that will tell you only from the objective part of it. Until you do it physically with your hands, live training, live projects, you will not get the real knowledge behind it. And that's why people are looking for people who have um, actual working knowledge. Now, if you're a fresher or if you just recently graduated, you'll say, Ankit, I don't have working experience because nobody's taking me, which is fair. And that's what I keep telling people. You need to build your portfolio. It's almost like getting into a marriage. It's really true. You have to build the whole thing. Like in marriage, nobody just talks about, oh, you do this, you do that, or you look like this. You have to be a full package, right? This much you earn, where you live, what you have, all that stuff. So that's how you have to build your profile on LinkedIn. I mean, nowadays recruiters don't even look at LinkedIn used to be such a big tool few years ago. I know a recruiter in Amazon, and she was telling me the other day that now we're looking at places like HackerRank, Hackathon, all these places where people actually showcase their real knowledge. They're not even looking at LinkedIn. Imagine, earlier it used to be what was that website, I forgot, Indeed.com and stuff like that. All that is gone. So you have to live and learn how to get ahead of this. That's what I was telling you in the beginning, that we help you, we train you like that. But again, the onus is on you. You will have to do those projects. You can always ask me, Ankit, what can I do? How can I do it? I'm happy to answer those questions. But again, you will have to build your profile. She has a further question. Due to career gap, I have taken it, have no idea how to come back to it. Workforce, since I have hearing, no, worked in India for 2 years as software engineer, came to the respective honest opinion. You're right, I'm unable to get it even though. Yeah, I mean, it's a very tricky situation for you, Archana. I really feel bad for you. And also, partly, the times that we are in right now is also not the best. I mean, what you're showing me, what you're writing, you have actually a very good profile because PhD people are very highly sought for. And I think you mentioned earlier you're in data science, right? You did masters in data science. That should also help a lot. But again, you have to take the whole context in mind. Right now, the job market is really, really bad. I mean, yesterday only I went to Subway and I met a girl there, and she gave me her resume. She somehow knew, or I mean, most people know US Indians are in IT. So she was asking when I asked her, she did a master's and she's jobless for last 10 months and working in Subway. So, oh, there you go. You did something in TTS. I think you should be pretty close to getting into AI then, Archana. And I think you should look for that path, especially if you've done some projects in TTS. Well, now you mentioned TTS, right? I'll take 2 more minutes and I'll give you an example. So there was this one guy, he had no idea. He was from non-IT background, and he said he wants to learn TTS. At that time, I didn't even talk about TTS in my classes. So he reached out to me and he said, "Where can I start?" I said, "Okay, what you have to do is just give yourself a simple assignment or example." And what he did, every hour he made a small program. Every hour he'll talk to his laptop, just like you talk to Siri and Google, and all it is going to do is very simple program. It is going to tell you what is the time. So that's how basically everybody has to start, and that's how he learned the TTS all by himself after doing the course. Like I was saying, there are so many frameworks. Nobody can teach you every framework, right? But what I can teach you is how to learn a new framework if the possibility of that comes tomorrow. So I think I would say, Archana, you're on the right track, whether you join or not. But I think you've done a lot, so which is good. Let the job market get a little better. I think you should be getting a job. And if you want, you can send your resume to Sachin. He'll forward it to me. Sachin, please take note of that, my friend. Archana will send you a resume, and you can send it to me. I'll take a quick look, Archana, and I'll uh, I'll recommend you some updates in resume. Sometimes you have to market also very nicely. So yeah, send it to Sachin. He'll send it to me. And if you decide to join, then we can directly talk. But if you don't join, then still send it to him, and I'll send you my feedback that what all you can change in your resume. That should help you. But good luck. I think you've done really good job by doing all this all by yourself. And for everybody, guys, it's not easy to do masters in US. It looks like, but it is not. And she's a PhD graduate, so times are tough. Is all I can say, Archana. But I really hope you get something soon. Yeah, sure. I'll guide you on that. No worries. All right. I think we're pretty much way past the time. Can I take one more last question if somebody has, or we can call it a night?
Uh, hey Ankita, this is Shweta here. I have a question.
Sure.
Um, I'm looking at this, right? Like, is this for me? I'm DevOps, QA, non-IT. So I'm little confused. So I'll give you a background a bit about me. So
Sure.
I'm a QA automation and I work for a AI startup. Basically, our product is in a way that, all these data scientists and engineers, they can uh, fine tune a model using data sets and then deploy it and then use it for inference, or they can use it for agent creation, basically RAG architecture and agentic flow.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm responsible to automate it on the, like, kind of a web automation and API automation, but now we are doing it for SDKs as well.
Sure.
um, that's where I need to get into Python. So
Mm-hmm.
I did create a framework using all these Gen AI tools, and but still, like, I don't know, I just feel like I get the code, I paste it there, but I feel like I need to understand it deeply.
Yep.
um so that's where I think I'm lacking, and that's why I'm here, to learn it from in a very deep level. So
Mm-hmm.
which course is basically, because I'm definitely not for DevOps, not for the this other website one that you showed,
Sure. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
but so which one I should go for? I'm a bit
Sure.
confused.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine. But thanks for answering the question, actually, honestly, and you were very honest. That's why I wrote it here. You already know that is the problem, because everybody likes to copy paste, and believe me, there is no coder if he says, "Oh, I don't paste a single line of code." That's BS. Everybody
Yeah.
does that. But yeah,
Yeah.
coming back to your question, and you're absolutely right, which is why I said good job. At least you know where you're lacking, and that's where most of people lack. So for you, I would say you are actually at step three, but you're lacking step one and step two. So for you, I would say, and I
Oh,
think you can discuss with Sachin, you should only do the basic course. You don't
Okay.
really need to do DevOps. You don't really need to do, I mean, if you want to as a tool, why not? But it's up to you. But you, from what you just explained me with your profile, I don't think so you need any of that. But if you want, after that, once you do Python, you can get into the one of the AI codes. So you said agentic, right? RAG and all. So we do
Yeah,
have
yeah, that's what.
we'll be having one
Yeah.
of those as well if you want to. But for you, I won't
Oh, yeah.
recommend any of these. You can just start with the, so all the courses initially have the same baseline, right? The basics are same. It's only if
Okay.
you choose DevOps, if you choose web development for Django, then you move into different projects, sorry, different groups.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
and of course the fee structure is different, so I'll let Sachin also know. I think he's hearing himself, so you
Sure.
can reach out to him and he'll take care of the price point, so don't worry. Yeah, he
Okay.
just said he's heard it. So me
Okay.
and him
Okay.
are both
Definitely.
joined as the same, somehow I don't know what went wrong, Sachin. But yeah, thanks for asking, Shweta. Good.
Yeah. Thank you for answering that. Yeah.
No worries. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna call it night. Archana says one more last thing. Oh yeah, I'm happy you find it helpful, Archana, and you're very welcome. But yeah, you're not alone, to be honest, with what you said. I don't want to say it on the recording, but yeah, American Dream is getting a little hard now. But just hang in there, is what I'm gonna say. And definitely get in touch with Sachin. He'll do the needful for you. I might have the transcript. I don't know. Sachin, do you know? He's the one who's actually doing all this. But it's getting recorded, so don't worry, Archana. You can get a recording from him. Don't have to worry about the transcript. All right, guys. Thanks again for joining the call, and I can't wait for you guys to start with us. Please reach out to Sachin. He has already posted his details. And if you still have any questions, feel free to ask him. He'll let me know. And if needed, I can be on a call with him, or we can directly call you. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye for now. Good night. Have a good day. Thanks for joining.